So today I'm going to be doing demonstrations using a screen reader. A screen reader is basically like this program that reads out loud to the user input from like a program or a web page, something on their computer. It speaks it out loud to them. It can even like translate it out into Braille, which is pretty cool. Screen readers are pretty essential for blind and visually impaired users to navigate, their computers and the web. So the screen reader that I am using is called VoiceOver. VoiceOver is a native application that comes with Macs, but more common programs are things like NVDA and JAWS. You would find those like on Windows. But yeah, because I have a Mac, we'll use VoiceOver today. So let's turn on VoiceOver. It's important to keep in mind that someone using a screen reader is not going to be using their mouse typically. They'll use their keyboard to navigate, so you won't see my mouse move around a whole lot. But let's go ahead and turn it on.
VoiceOver on Chrome. Accessibility demos vertical line Thrift County. Google Chrome. Window. Accessibility demos vertical line Thrift County. Selected. Tab.
So one of the first things that you'll notice about the screen reader is, of course, it read out loud to me what it's focused on, which in this case it's the Chrome tab that has the title of my webpage in it. So it read out the title to me. It let me know that it was on Chrome and it was on a tab and all of that. But also you'll see that black outline that's like kind of highlighted around the tab, just indicating like where we're at on the page. So I can use my keyboard now to start navigating the different elements in my browser.
New tab button.
Okay.
New tab.
So I moved over to the new tab button and it announced that out to me. Next one.
Back button. Press to go back. Context menu to see history.
Okay, so I just went to the back button and it let me know, what the back button does. So as you can imagine, it could take me a while to navigate through all of the stuff that's in my browser, like the address bar and all my plugins, and then into the web page itself, where I have like the extension logo, the little drop-down arrow, and then the like other stuff like the navigation on the left, like all of those links. So one tool that we'll keep looking at today is called the rotor, which is like this tool that lets you jump to different places on the page depending on how it's marked up. So let's go ahead and open that up and see what it looks like.
Links menu.
Okay, so when I opened up the rotor, the very first thing it showed me was the links menu. So now I actually see like every link that's on this page. If I go over one,
Headings menu.
then I have my headings menu. And in my headings menu, you can see, the very first thing that it lists there is one accessibility demos. That's because the first heading on my webpage is that, like that's the heading one on my page. And so when a person is using like a screen reader, they're typically going to use these kinds of shortcuts to get to the content of the page. And that's why, we mention best practices like using headings to break up the content and organize your page, because it actually provides like an easy way for someone using like assistive technology to navigate around. So let's go ahead and see what that does.
Heading level 1. Accessibility demos.
So I'm on heading level 1, and you can already see in the background there that there's this black outline around my, my first heading. I can keep going down the page if I want to.
Heading level 2. Images. Heading level 3. Images must include alt text.
Yeah, so I could jump potentially to like, the third heading of this page if I wanted to, if that was what I was looking for, like that seemed to me like that was the information that I was looking for. But I'm going to go ahead and just go back to the heading 1.
Heading level 2. Images. Heading level 1. Accessibility demos.
Okay, and press return.
Heading level 1. Accessibility demos.
Okay, and so now, I'm already like where I need to be in the web page content without having to go through the navigation or the search bar and all that stuff. So I can start using my keyboard to navigate further down the page.
Heading level 2. Images. Heading level 3. Images must include alt text.
And of course, VoiceOver lets me know, it speaks out to me all the headings that I scroll through.
List 2 items.
It's letting me know now that I'm on a list.
Bullet 1 of 2.
The bullet.
Visited, link, demo, voiceover on an image without alt text. Chrome has new window.
Okay, so it let me know that I was on like a visited link. It read out the text of that link to let me know what it's about. So I think you get the idea of how a person will navigate a web page using a screen reader. And really, the point of my demos today isn't to show you how to do it, but it's to give you context. So, hopefully you understand why we encourage you to use best practices for accessibility, like using descriptive link text, using headings intentionally, alt text on images, all of these things. Like when we do them intentionally and completely, it means that like somebody using assistive technology like a screen reader can actually navigate your web page and it's accessible to them. Okay, so our first demo today is going to go over VoiceOver, what happens with the screen reader when you get to a picture on the page or an image that doesn't have alternative text. So right now you can see that I am on the heading of this page. You can tell because there's a black outline around it. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next item on the page.
The image to the right doesn't have any alternative text. What happens when a screen reader gets to the image on the page?
Okay, so far so good. VoiceOver just read out that paragraph to me in text. So now I'm going to move to the image and let's see what happens.
End of main.
Okay, so VoiceOver just told me that we reached the end of the page, but it didn't let me know that there was a picture of strawberries there because we didn't put alternative text on that image. So basically, if you leave alt text out of an image, it's basically invisible to a person who's using a screen reader. Okay, so I spent a few moments just adding alt text to the image using AEM. So now that I've done that, let's see what happens when the screen reader gets to the image on the page. Okay, so first I'm going to navigate to the paragraph.
Now our image on the right has alt text. What will a screen reader do when it gets to the image?
Okay, so now to the image.
Strawberries, image.
Okay, so that was pretty to the point because our alt text is so short, but that's okay. It gets the point across of what that image is of. And the most important thing is that it didn't skip the image on the page this time because we actually provided the alt text. So on this page you can see that I have two really nice looking image flyers for upcoming events happening in our fictional Thrift County. We've got this virtual camping experience thing on the left and then an online health and wellness fair on the right. These images look really, really nice. But what happens when we get to the images using a screen reader? Let's see.
Heading Level 2, Upcoming Events. We hope you will join us for the events below. Virtual Camping Experience, image. Online Health and Wellness Fair, image.
Okay, so you'll notice that when I when I tab over to one of these images, it reads out the short alt text that I attach to each image, but it doesn't give me all of the information like the schedule, the register online link. All of that information was left out because a screen reader unfortunately can't actually read text that's that's embedded into an image. That's part of why we have alt text to begin with. So your next thought might be, okay, so can we put all of that information into the alt text field? But unfortunately that doesn't really work because alt text is meant to be short. If you did that, it would be really cumbersome and you wouldn't have all the advantages of headings and stuff like that that would give the screen reader user pauses to help them take in the information instead of it just continuously talking at them. So what we need to do is make sure that we include all of the same information that's provided in these images on the page as text, using heading formats and links and bulleted lists, really whatever we need to do. but it has to be text on the page. After reworking this page a little bit in AEM, using some, different components, I now have all of the information that was in the images as text on the page. And, you can see where this is going. All of this information will be easily read by the screen reader. I'm going to tab down a little bit just to show you what I mean. Let's go to the schedule part.
We hope you will join us for the events below. Heading Level 2, Virtual Camping Experience 2020. An online summer camp for grades 4-12. Heading Level 3, Schedule.
Right. So like all of that information can actually be read now, which is great. I'm going to go ahead and skip down to the second event using my rotor.
Headings menu. Heading Level 1. Heading Level 2. Heading Level 2. Online Health and Wellness Fair.
Okay, so, as you can see in the rotor, all of the headings are outlined now. It's really easy to jump down into the different sections of information on the page.
Heading Level 2. Online Health and Wellness Fair.
Okay. So yeah, not a whole lot of advanced technique here. We're just using our components that we already know how to use in the in AEM to present the information as text on the page. Also notice that I did include a thumbnail version of the flyer on the right hand side of each of these, which is perfectly okay to do for visual interest. Really, the most important part is that you always provide a text alternative for content like this when, otherwise it wouldn't be accessible. One exception to the no text and images rule are logos. So take our UGA extension logo here in the top left-hand corner. Obviously, we can't duplicate that look using the tools that our programs provide us like AEM and WordPress. Logos really have to be images, and that's okay. Just make sure that you provide proper alt text so that it communicates out to the user what it is. Okay, on this page about monthly club meetings, there are a few links. So for this demo, let's pretend I'm in a hurry and I want to quickly scan the page for links I'm interested in. So let's open up the rotor.
Links menu.
Okay, so the rotor shows us all of the links on the page, but there are a few links in this list that just say click here.
Link, visit it, visit, link, click here.
So click here does not give me any idea about where I will go if I follow the link. This kind of link text is completely useless when you take it out of its context, like in this rotor tool. So since using shortcuts like the rotor here is common and useful for screen reader users, we want to make sure that link text is descriptive. It should give enough information about where it's sending you even out of context. Another way to think about it is if you say that link text out loud, does it make sense to you? Does it give you an idea of where you will go if you follow the link? So here's the page again, and this time I have replaced the click here links with more descriptive links. So the key here is to make sure that our links make sense out of context, even if we don't have all the text around it to tell us what's going on, because sometimes, screen reader users will want to scan the page quickly. So if I open up the rotor, that's how I would do that.
Links menu.
Okay, and now I can kind of scroll.
Link, image, visited, link, Thrift County, visited, link, next Club Club meeting details.
Okay, so I kind of went through that quickly, but keep in mind, a screen reader user might sit and listen to the links as they go down the page as well. So that's kind of why it's important to make sure that your links are also not super long. And as far as text goes, usually less than 100 characters is what we recommend. But aside from that, at least now our links give more context. So instead of having 3 identical links that say click here, they are more specific, and so I'll have a better idea of where I'm going next. In this demo, we're going to see what happens with a screen reader when you misuse headings. So we see this a lot on our sites. Sometimes a content manager wants to make sure important information is emphasized on a page, so they will use heading styles because it makes the text bigger. Here you can see there is a heading 2 style used on the first 2 lines. The second line about the shelter-in-place order is 2 sentences, but the whole thing is marked up as a heading. Then there are 2 complete sentences under that, which are styled with heading 3. Unfortunately, using headings this way is an accessibility issue. Headings are meant to help break up content and organize a page. They help you scan and page quickly to find what you need, usually by topic. And a screen reader program takes that concept and presents the headings as a quick list that the user can tab through, like VoiceOver's Rotor. But, if we use headings for their appearance and highlight entire paragraphs, then it defeats the purpose and makes the headings writer kind of cumbersome for a screen reader user. Another heading-related issue on this page is further down. So here we have a heading level 2, our program areas, but for the program areas underneath, like A&R and Family and Consumer Sciences, 4-H, we have skipped heading 3 styles and are using heading 4 styles. So this might not seem like a big deal, but this can actually be confusing for a screen reader user. The screen reader announces out loud to the user what each heading level is. So let me show you.
Heading Level 4, Agriculture and Natural Resources. Heading Level 2, our program areas.
Okay, so if a heading level is skipped, then the user might think that they somehow skipped or missed a section of content. This could be like a technical issue. They might suspect that it is, but it's still confusing, so we want to avoid that. I wanted to show you how these misused headings look inside of VoiceOver's Rotor. So pretty much all of the information from the first section of the page is included now in the heading section of the Rotor. So let's scroll down to one of those.
Heading level 2 items. Due to the shelter-in-place order from Governor Ken, the Yuga Extension Thrift County office will be closed until further notice. However, we are teleworking and able to assist if possible. Group.
So that was a lot of information for what's supposed to be the heading section, which is not useful or expected. We should just have concise headings in this menu to help navigate the content on the page. And for our section where the heading level 3 was skipped, the issue is reflected here as well.
Heading level 2, our program areas.
Okay.
Heading level 4, Agriculture and Natural Resources.
So
heading
I have
level 2, our program areas.
A heading level 4 immediately after a heading level 2. Again, a skipped heading level can be confusing for someone trying to quickly navigate the page with a screen reader. Now our page is using heading styles correctly and intentionally. They are used to help organize the content on the page and aren't applied to whole paragraphs for visual emphasis. So instead, on my first section about Thrift County's office being closed, I'm using one heading 2 at the start of the announcement.
Heading level 2, Thrift County office temporarily closed.
Next, I have some paragraphs with details. For emphasis, I used the bold style on the first sentence, and to draw more attention to the section, I've added an alert graphic to the right. So adding a graphic and bolding the first sentence are ways that we can bring attention to the announcement without highlighting entire bodies of text and heading styles. The fix for the issue below is simply switching the heading 4 styles I used before with heading 3s, so a heading level isn't skipped after the heading 2 that starts the section. So here we have heading 2 that I've highlighted, and then
heading level 3, Agriculture and Natural Resources.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so over in the Rotor,
headings menu.
With our corrections, the headings are simplified and easier to tab through.
Heading level 2 items. Our program areas. Group.
And I can easily figure out what the content of this page is about and skip to a section I'm interested in.
Heading level 3. Family and Consumer Sciences. Heading level 3. Family and Consumer Sciences.
And that's what we're aiming for, using headings to organize the content and make the page easier to read. It's worth noting that not only does this help screen reader users, but organizing and breaking up your content with headings helps everyone more easily read your web pages.